today's session, solve problem on helical gear. After this session, you will get some guideline and recap of some of the the relations we have already discussed during the sessions that we will discuss once again during the session. Okay, the problem statement again. This is simple problem. Again, solve problem from Vivi Bandari's book. But meanwhile, you have attended your the same one and same examination. From today, you can start to study your second semester subject or courses, including DME2. Okay, I am going to read the problem statement. We will discuss this problem during this session. The pair of a parallel helical gear consists of a 20 teeth pinion missing with 100 teeth gear. Pinion rotates at 720 rpm. Normal pressure angle is 20 degree, while the helix angle is 25 degree. His width is 40 mm and normal module is 4 mm. Pinion as well as the gear is made of steel 40C8 SUT 600 Newton per mm square and heat treated to a surface hardness of 300 BHN. Service factor and factor of safety 1.5 and 2 respectively. Now here condition is given. Assume that velocity factor accounts for the dynamic load. Calculate the power transmitting capacity of the gears. Always in design, what you have to do, you have to read the problem statement carefully and you have to give minimum 2 to 3 minutes to read problem statement. Again here, what you have to do, read the statement carefully and write down the given data. So here, pair of parallel helical gear. So which gear? Helical gear. That means you have to design or you have to find out this power transmitting capacity of helical gear. That's why you can write down in given data helical gears. Then it consists of 20 teeth, 20 teeth on pinion, and you know the nomenclature ZP is equal to 20. And same nomenclature we are going to use for all the gears. Then missing with 100 teeth gear. 100 teeth gear means ZG is equal to 100. Pinion rotates at 720 rpm. That means NP, small n suffix p, NP is equal to 720. Normal pressure angle, that is alpha n, is equal to 20 degree. While helix angle is equal to 25, that is psi is equal to 25. And helix angle plays important role in helical gear. You know very well, I have already discussed what is the physical significance of helix angle in helical gear. If helical is 0, that time helical gear becomes a spur gear. You know very well how much is the range of helix angle. It should be greater than 12 degree and up to 30. If it exceeds the 30, what would happen? And if less than 12 degree, what would happen? We have already discussed it. And it's all about the physical significance of helix angle. You know very well, and I have shared one YouTube video also. Then phase width is 40 mm, it's given B. Normal module is given Mn. Now you know very well in this gear design, normal module and transverse module plays the important role because of this helix angle. What is are cut with some inclination. That's why here normal module is given Mn 4 mm. You can write 4 mm. Again here it is mentioned pinion as well as the gear made of steel 40C8 and SUT. That means pinion and the gear made up of same material. And why this point is important? Because when pinion and gears are made up of same material, so what you have to do, you have to decide which one is the weak. Why which one is the weaker? Because your design should start from the weakest section or weaker component, and that's why the pinion plus gears are made up of steel. That means same material. The pinion is always weaker, you know very well, than the whip. They are made up of same material. Why? Because sigma b into y product, this side sigma b means bending stress. Calculate the bending stress SUT by 3, or sigma b is equal to SUT by 3, and y is the Lewis form factor. Again here, when they are made up of same material, the pinion is weaker. That's why this statement is very important. Then surface hardness is given 300 BHN. surface hardness is given, that is 300 BHN, that we are going to use to calculate the SW. The service factor is given CS 1.5, factor of safety FOS 2 is given. Assume that velocity factor accounts for the dynamic load, calculate power transmitting capacity. Now here in this problem, assume velocity factor accounts for the dynamic load. You know very well during the design of spur gear and the helical gear theory part, you know very well, to account for dynamic load, there are two criteria. One is velocity factor and second one is the Buckingham's dynamic load. Or by using Buckingham's equation, we can find out the dynamic load. The two criteria means in preliminary stages of gear design, velocity factor plays important role. This is one aspect to account for the dynamic load. And second, final stages of gear design, Buckingham's factor to account for the dynamic load. Two criteria. But in this problem statement, velocity factor accounts for the dynamic load. It is mentioned that you have to consider preliminary stages of design by considering or taking into account velocity factor. Try to understand. In this way, you have to read the problem statement carefully. And once after reading it, what you have to do, you have to write the given data. And as discussed, I have written here all the data. The NP, pinion rotate at 720 RPM, ZP number of teeth on the pinion 20, ZG number of teeth on the gear 100, normal model 4 mm, pitch width is given 40 mm, and then helix angle 25 degree, normal friction angle 20 degree, ultimate tensile strength for steel material is given 600 Newton per mm square for both pinion as well as gear. BHN is also given 300, service FOS 2. But here you know very well, permissible bending stress sigma B is equal to, you know very well, what is this? 1/3 of SUT. So you can calculate this sigma B. SUT is given 600, you will get 200 Newton per mm square. In this way, you can write down the given data. Okay. After this, as mentioned while reading the problem statement, pinion as well as the gear made of same material for TC8. This statement is very important. Always you have to take into account because it decides which one is weaker, whether pinion is weaker or whether gear is weaker. And why this statement is important? Based on that, you are going to design whether to design pinion first or gear first. But here made up of same material, pinion is always weaker. That's why you have to design first pinion. Try to understand. Again, second year, the criteria to account for the dynamic load, it is mentioned in problem statement, velocity factor. The velocity factor, that criteria we have to use to find out the or to determine the power transmitting capacity of the gear. Okay, I hope you are getting this. Let us see how to find out the power transmitting capacity. Okay, after this, it's very simple. The pinion is weaker, then we can find out the Lewis form factor. You know very well, means pinion as well as the gear are made up of same material. Pinion is weaker. I have already discussed this thing. So what we have to do now here in SPP examination, sometimes the chart may be given to you, sometimes may not be given to you. Now here, what you have to do, you have to refer the Lewis form factor chart. And again here, normal pressure angle, it is mentioned in problem statement 20 degree. The chart you have to refer for Lewis form factor Y for 20 degree full depth involute system. Now this is the chart which is we have already used for spur gear, again helical gear also we have to use the same chart. But you know very well what we have to do to make the analysis of helical gear design simple one. We have to convert that helical gear into imaginary spur gear, and for that purpose virtual number of teeth plays an important role. We have already discussed this, you know, the fundamentals and theory behind it. And according to that, now in this case, it's given pinion is having 20 teeth. But what we have to do? We have to find out the virtual number of teeth on pinion. Why virtual number of teeth on pinion? Because to find out ASB, beam strength or ASW, Again, we have to consider or we have to find out the Lewis form factor based on the virtual number of teeth in helical gear. Try to understand. Try to understand. That's why first thing that you have to do, find out virtual number of teeth on pinion. And again, you know very well the virtual number of teeth on pinion. We have already derived this expression in earlier session also. Zp dash is equal to Zp upon cos cube psi here. Psi is the helix angle. So you can substitute this value Zp, it's given number of teeth on pinion 20, you will get Zp dash. If you are going to solve it, you will find virtual number of teeth on pinion is equal to 26.87. And based on this virtual number of teeth, you have to find out Lewis form factor Y. Try to understand. In case of helical gear, your first target should be find out virtual number of teeth. Now in this case, both gear and pinion, that's why pinion is weaker. That's why I have calculated virtual number of teeth on pinion. Now suppose I will discuss once again here. If different materials are used, at time product sigma b into y decides which one is weaker and which one is that means whether pinion is weaker or gear is weaker. Again, for that purpose, what you have to do? Again, you have to find out Zp dash, then Zg dash. How to find out the Zg dash? That means virtual number of teeth on gear, Zg upon cos cube psi. You know very well, cos cube psi. And once you will get Zp and Zg, you know this equation to find out the y value. You can substitute here, you will get the y, and you can decide sigma b y on sigma b into y. Which one is, this is for the pinion and this is for the gear, and which one is the lower. Accordingly, you can decide whether pinion is weaker or gear is weaker. The same fundamentals we have used that you have to adopt here. But in this case, pinion is weaker. Find out virtual number of teeth on pinion. The Zp20 size the helix angle you can substitute. You will get this. And once you know the virtual number of teeth on pinion, that is 26. So what we have to do to find out the Lewis form factor? In helical gear, Lewis form factor should be based on, remember, based on what? Virtual number of teeth, always virtual number of teeth. That's why find out virtual number of teeth per pinion. And after calculating it, I am going to refer the chart for using this virtual number of teeth. So you will find the Z is to 26.87. In the chart, Z is equal to 26, and after that 27. You don't have a value of 26.87 in between this. So what you have to do? You have to go for a interpolation. Try to understand. So if you are going to refer the chart, so you have to use a interpolation because ZP dash is not a full value or integer value here. It's a 26.87. It's not a 26 or a 27. If your calculated value is 26, you can directly take this Lewis form factor y is equal to 0.34. But here it's 26.87. It is in lies in between 26 and 27. That's why you have to use interpolation. Try to understand. And you know very well in numerical methods also you are using the interpolation method. So you can use interpolation, and in between these two, what you have to, again you know very well how to use the interpolation by using the equation of a straight line. That means for in between, suppose you know x-axis, y-axis, these are the 2 points x1 and this is x2, and the point is lies here in between x and x. So you will suppose for x1 you have a two coordinate x1 y1, and x2 you have x2 y2, and again you have to find out this the coordinate of this. So what you have to do, you can use the equation of a line is having some slope. So y is equal to mx plus c. Y again similarly you use the equation for this also. So by using this theory also you can find out the coordinate of this middle point. The same logic you can use in the interpolation also. And here, by using the interpolation you have to find out the y. Again here the for 26.344 is the value of Lewis form factor, for 27 0.348, so you can use it 0.348 minus 340. So again, the logic is same equation of a line that is used to get the value of Lewis form factor by using interpolation method. Okay, I know. And even though in thermodynamics, in properties of steam, you might have used this value to find out the HXG, HFC also. You know very well this how to use it. I don't want to. One also we have used in Esenkor to this interpolation, the method to get this value. Okay, by using this, you will get this value. Again, suppose if you don't have the chart available with you, then what are again you know very well already for a 20-degree full depth involved system, the value of y. This is the standard equation. Sometimes this equation may be given in examination. You can refer this y is for 20-degree full depth system 48 minus 2.87 on ZP dash. Why I am saying ZP dash? Because in helical gear, this Y, Lewis form factor is based on virtual number of. That's why I have used this. Similarly, if it's 22.41 degree, Y is equal to form relation. Hari, it's okay, Hari. Don't bother about that. I will discuss that there is some variation. If you are going to use a direct equation and if you are going to use a chart, there is some variation in the value of Lewis form factor. But why I am telling these things? If chart is available with you, you can use the chart. If it's not available, that time you can directly use this formula y is equal to 0.484 minus, because it will give some value, and as per the calculation done by Mr. Harikos here, the values are given, it there is some variation. These variations are coming because this the formula which I derived based on the proper the curve fitting relations. This formula, empirical formula, is derived and which is in general applicable for 20-degree full depth. Similarly, you have another relation for 0.5 degree equations. Already I have given for Spurgeon. Same equation you can use, only while using the equations you have to use the number of teeth here. Okay, and you can calculate the y. Once after calculating the Lewis form factor, next step is what you have to do. You have to find out the beam strength as well as the wear strength. Again, here it is not mentioned. Only you have to use you have to take into account velocity factor to take into account the dynamic load. But whether SB should be used or whether SW should be, it is not mentioned in anywhere in the problem. So what you have to do? Try to find out the beam strength as well as the wear strength. Let us first of all find out the, you know very well, beam strength for spur gear and a helical gear equations are same, but this y Lewis form factor is virtual number of teeth. Try to understand. It's based on what virtual number of teeth, but in spur gear this Lewis form factor, which is based on number of teeth on spur pinion or a number of teeth on a gear. Try to understand. Here, virtual number of teeth plays important. So you can say for a helical gear, beam strength equation, this Lewis form factor based on virtual number of teeth. That's why in some of the reference book also, instead of having a y, they use y dash. And a y dash means Lewis form factor based on virtual teeth. But we are referring the V.V. Vandari's book. That's why the same nomenclature we are adopting here. That's why we are not using the y dash. Try to understand. But this y depends on virtual number of teeth. Try to understand. It depends on virtual number of teeth. And we have calculated its value by using the formula also, by first calculating the virtual number of teeth on pinion, by referring the chart, and that value we are going to use. And again here I am referring the value of y dash based on the virtual number of teeth by referring the table, that is 0.3475. If you don't have a table, you can calculate by using the formula, that is y is equal to 0.484 minus the earlier formula that I discussed here, that is minus 2.87 upon ZP dash, and that value you can use here. Right, understand? Okay, then normal module. In this problem, normal module is given MN. is 4. Then width is also given, base width 40 mm, and here's sigma b is equal to SCT by 3. We have calculated 600 by 3, that is 200. So you can calculate beam strength. So you will get 11,120 Newton. You know very well, beam strength is nothing maximum magnitude of tangential force that gear tooth can sustain without bending failure. That is the beam strength. So that's why the unit is in Newton, or it's a PT max, maximum tangential force that tooth can sustain without bending failure is the beam strength of the helical gear. You know very well that relation. Okay. So first of all, calculate its value. Now, whether the design of this helical gear should be based on beam strength or the wear strength, how to decide it? While solving one problem on spur gear, we have seen that time. First of all, calculate the beam strength of helical gear, then the wear strength of the helical gear, and then you have to check whether the magnitude of beam strength is more or whether the magnitude of wear strength is more. If beam strength is more than the wear strength is the criteria to design further. If beam strength is less than the wear, the beam strength is the criteria. Try to understand. That's why now let us calculate the wear strength. I will elaborate once again that the SB is equal to this. Then the wear strength of helical gear. What is the relation? You know very well. In case of a spur gear, what is the relation? BQ dp into K is the only relation. But here for a helical gear, for spur gear BQ dpk, but for a helical gear, what relation? Wear strength SW is equal to B into Q into dp into K upon cos square psi. Try to understand, and you have to remember this formula properly. Don't make any mistake here. What is the BQ into dp into K upon cos square psi? Psi is the helix angle. B is the width, piece width, you know very well. Q, that is the ratio factor that we have to find out. dp is the PCD of the pinion. K is the here I have written the load stress factor based on the BHN, and psi is the helix angle. Now let us see how to find out the value of these all the factors. Now here ratio factor, here Q. Again Q for helical gear, that is 2 into Zg upon Zg plus Zp. Now again, you know very well, during the discussion on theory part, you know very well we have taken into account the virtual number of teeth, and after solving it you got relation for this the ratio factor 2 Zg upon Zg plus Zp, and which is same like a spur gear also. It's same like a spur gear, but while deriving it we have used virtual number of teeth on gear and pinion, and after cancelling some of the terms you will get the same relation which is applicable to spur gear. Try to understand. Then 2 Zg. Zg means it's given 100 in problem statement for a helical gear. Zp, it's given 20. So you can substitute 2 into Zg, 2 into 100 upon 100 plus 20. So you will get Q is equal to 1.67. Okay, this is the form factor. Calculating is this ratio factor. Another one, what is the required B? You know very well, 40. Then dp that you have to find out, PCD opinion. But for a helical gear, what is the equation for the P circle diameter of the pinion? Zp into Mn upon cos psi. And you know very well what is Zp and Mn. And in our relations, we are going to, you know, Mn upon, I am going to write here just to have a recap. dp is equal to Zp into Mn upon cos psi. And what is Mn upon cos psi? You know very well, it's a empty transfer, and it becomes Zp is equal to dp is equal to Zp into mt, or simply m Zp is equal to dp. But in helical gear we have to use the normal model, and transfer model which is defined is equal to Mn upon cos psi. That's why this equation we are going to use. This Mn upon cos psi is equal to m, that is transfer model. Try to understand. That's why you have to calculate that dp is equal to Zp. You can substitute 20 Mn normal model 4 upon cos psi, cos of 20 is the helix angle given in the equation, you can use it here. So you will get dp, pitch circle diameter of the pinion 88.27. Then what is the required, B now, Q now, dp now, and always dp means for a pinion. Now in this case, pinion is weaker. Try to again, I am telling you one important thing. Even though if gear is weaker, and we are going to use the same equation, and in this equation dp is there, don't make change, is dg, understand? Even though in spur gear also, what is the formula for hw? bq dp into k. So don't use dg when gear is weaker. Try to understand gear strength relation and fitting criteria. SW is equal to BQ into DP into K upon cos square psi for helical gear, and for spur gear BQ into DP into K. It's not DG. Try to understand. Always you have to use DP there. Okay. Now you know the DP from this. What is K? That we have to find out. Load stress factor K is equal to 0.16 BHN upon 100 square. Why I am referring this equation directly? Because both gear means pinion and gear are made up of steel. And for steel, what you have to do in the equation, you can use the value of modulo of elasticity, and after solving it, you will get the relation K is equal to 0.16 BHN by 100 bracket square. This equation is applicable when they are made up of steel. And you know very well, if they are made up of different material, then what is the equation here? Instead of 16, this formula becomes K equal to 0.18 into BHN upon 100 bracket square when they are made up of different material. Different means pinion is made up of a steel and other is made up of a cast iron. And when they both are made up of cast iron, then this equation becomes 0.21. You know very well, 0.21 in bracket BHN upon 100 bracket. Already we have discussed these things during the design of spur gear. Here made up of steel, for a steel K is equal to 0.16 BHN of 100 bracket square. After substituting BHN 300, which is given in the problem statement, you can substitute. So you will get K is equal to 1.44. Now we have a K, we have a DP, we have a Q, we have a B and psi also. Now you can easily find out SW. We are strength for fitting. Okay, or design against fitting together. So substitute this value B given mm, Q calculated here 1.67, then DP 88.27, then K 1.44, and the helix angle is given 25. You can substitute all the values, you will get SW is equal to SW how much? 10,318. 10,318. Now you have a ASB, you have a SW. Now you can compare. So you will find SW is less than SB. You can check it. Which one is smaller? The SW is less than SB. Because SW is 10,300 and SB is 11,000. You have to compare. That means here wear strength is lower than the, or magnitude of wear strength is lower than the beam strength. So what is the criteria? The wear strength is the criteria for further design. Try to understand. And if agar SB is less than SW, so what is the criteria? SB is the criteria. Try to understand. But in this problem, what is SW is small or SW is less than SB. So what this SW that we have to use to find out the tangential force. Why to find out the tangential force? Because in the problem statement it is asked to find out the power transmitting capacity of the gears. Now let us see how to calculate it. Okay. Now in this case, now we have decided SW is the less than the SB. So we have to use the relation SW is equal to, and you know very well, SW is equal to P effective into FOS. P effective into FOS. FOS is given in problem. SW we have already calculated. But now we are not going to use SB is equal to P effective into FOS. Why? SW is smaller, that's why. And how to calculate the P effective? Based on the velocity factor criteria, or to account for velocity factor, P effective is equal to, you know very well, CS upon CV into PT. I have written P effective is equal to CS upon CV into PT, and this is for or based on velocity factor. In preliminary stages of design, how to account the dynamic load by using velocity factor. Based on that, P effective is equal to CS into PT upon CV. Try to understand. Therefore, we have to calculate CV first. We have to calculate P effective, then we will get PT, and once you have a PT, you can find out MT, and once you have a MT, you can find out a power. Now let us see how to do. So first of all, find out tangential force, that is from the rated torque, that is PT. To find out this here, we have to use this expression to account for the velocity factor. CS is given, PT that we have to calculate. So we should know, to have a value of P effective, we should know the CV. How to find out CV? Again here, look at this. For helical gear design, always you have to use the CV is equal to 5.6 upon 5.6 plus under root V, this equation. In spur gear design, to calculate the velocity factors, first of all, you have to define pitch line velocity. And how to calculate the pitch line velocity? V is equal to into D into E upon 60 into 10 raised to 3. The pitch line velocity you can calculate from this. Once you will get V, you can substitute here, you will get the CV. But here, in spur gear, don't make any confusion. I am recapping some of the fundamentals of spur gear design. When this pitch line velocity is less than 10 meter per second, then 3 upon 3 plus V. When it is in between 10 to 15 meter per second, then another equation of velocity factor. When it's greater than 20 meter per second, then greater up to 30, then greater than 30 meter per second. The different equations of CVs that we were using in design of spur gear. But remember one important thing, for helical gear, whatever may be the pitch line velocity, always you have to use this expression which is applicable. And you know very well, when you are going to compare this spur gear with helical gear, the generally for a low speed spur gears are used because tips are cut straight and there is a sudden engagement, that's why noisy operation. But in helical gear, teeth are cut with some inclination. There is a gradual engagement, and because of that, noiseless operation or smooth operation is possible in case of helical gear. That's why they can be used for high-speed applications. And that's why always use this expression of CV to calculate the velocity factor. Remember this one thing, CV is equal to 5.6 upon 5.6 plus under root V. So how to calculate the V? You know the pitch line velocity pi d n by 60 into 10 raised to 3. Why we are multiplying by 10 raised to 3? So you should get in meter per second, that's why. So substituting the value of dp 88.7, then np here 720, you will get the V, and you can substitute the value of V here, you will get CV. So what is the value of CV? After calculation, you will get 0.7543. Try to understand. And once you have a CV, so you can put CS here, CV here, PT, we don't know that, we have to calculate. So you will get P effective in terms of PT. Again here, I am going to write the equation once. I will rearrange this. Okay. The SW is equal to P effective into FOS. Now I am going to write SW. We have already calculated 10,000 something. Suppose 10,318 is equal to P effective means CS PT upon CV into FOS. And FOS is given in problem statement 2. You can substitute CS 1.5 CV calculated this value, you can substitute. And here this is SW. So what we will get from this equation? PT. So here SW is equal to CS into PT upon CA into PS. You can substitute all these values and what you will get? PT. So now here PT is calculated 2594. You can do these calculations. That means how to calculate the PT. Once you have a tangential force, the remaining thing is very simple. you know the relation of PT and MT torque transmitted. The MT is equal to what? PT into dP by 2. dP means pitch circle diameter, that is 88. This relation by 2 you can use, and PT calculated value you can substitute to 594.43. So you will get MT torque, and which is in Newton mm. Try to understand. Don't make any units also. You have to take a lot of care while calculating this. Once you have EMT torque, you know the very simple equation. Power is equal to 2 into pi into N into torque, that is EMT upon 60. This equation you can use. You know the EMT you can substitute. NP means pinion rotate set upon 60, you will get the power. But here we are multiplying by 10 raised to 6. That means you will get power directly in kilowatt. And you know the name of the researchers or scientists, always you have to use capital. Kilowatt, K may be small, W should be big. Okay, alphabet. So in here, after calculating, substituting the value of MT and P, you will get 8.63. The power transmitting capacity of the gears is 8.63 kilowatt. Try to understand. I hope you got today's session. You don't have any problem related to this. If you have any query, you can put in chat box also. We will discuss, no problem. Thank you. I have reported Vivanda's book for this problem. It's a solve problem from books. Okay, if you have any query, you can mail me or WhatsApp. Okay.